Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a pistol red dot to take a look at. This one's coming from Gowutar and the model is the GP-9. Over the years, I've had several other products from Gowutar. They've all performed really well, no issues whatsoever. So I'm hoping for the same thing with this GP-9. This is going to have an RMR footprint, a huge viewing window, shake-awake technology, and a bunch of other really nice features. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing, go over all those features and specifications. I'll show you guys what the dot looks like. We'll get it mounted to something, probably get out to the range, do some testing with it, and then give some thoughts on it. Quickly show you around the box. This is going to have a 6 MOA dot on it. There's a QR code you can scan. This is made out of 7075 aluminum, which is a much higher strength aluminum than what 6061 is. And then so we have a 1500G shockproof rating on it. So you could put this on shotguns and even high power rifles and stuff. IPX7 waterproof rated. Let's go ahead and get this out of the package. See everything they send with it. How it's packed. So we got some foam up on top. Looks like some type of sticker maybe. User manual, lens cleaning cloth. Looks like the dot itself. Got some baggies over here. Looks like a tool to like adjust your windage and elevation and stuff, and probably to get the battery out. There is the battery. It is a CR2032. And it looks like some screws. And as we go along here, I'll have to figure out, this says it's supposed to be a 1632. So I'm not sure if the red dot takes a 1632 and they have sent me the wrong battery, or if it takes a 2032 and it's wrong on the box. Quickly show you this manual, just in case there are things that I leave out, or in case you buy this red dot and lose your manual. Can always come back to this video for reference. Does look like it has a 3-year warranty. There were 3 sets of screws and they are labeled for their sizes. So here is the GP-9. Give you guys some close-ups before we start going over everything. Again, this thing has a 28mm viewing window. I think it's the largest one of any red dot I've ever had. Most of them are like 22 or 24. This is going to have a top load battery. Kind of like some sight channels here. Again, our elevation and windage adjustments. We'll check those out in a bit. You can see it has some texturing around the front here. So if you're somebody that likes to do press checks and uses your optic for that, you can do that. Or if you like to chamber around, or if you go like off of a table or something, it just kind of gives you a little more grip on there. Then you can also see the coating on there. It's got a multi-coating to kind of help prevent scratches and stuff like that to the lens. Also allows for more light transmission through it. Just gives you a better viewing picture. Basically looking at 2 inches in total length. 1.3 in width. And a height of 1.28. And it has a total weight of 1.8 ounces. So this is obviously an open reflex sight. Our emitter is going to be down in here. Our power on and power off over here. This is also how we're going to adjust our brightness. They've actually kind of built this up to where your buttons are, they're not quite recessed, but they're not really like exposed either. And they did this on purpose so that your buttons don't get accidentally hit. Like it does take, you got to kind of almost like turn your finger a little bit to kind of get to them. Try to give you a close-up of that. You can see they just barely stick out above the side of that. I'm going to get this battery door off. We'll see if the battery they sent works for this, and then we'll take a look at the dot itself. So it looks like that 2032 is the correct battery. And in the manual, it does say 2032. A 1632, I believe, would work as well. It's just obviously a little bit smaller than that one with the diameter, so it'd still work. So you can manually turn the dot on and off. To turn it on, you're going to press that up arrow for about 3 seconds or so. And I'll show you a close-up of this in a minute. And then if you want to turn it off manually, you press the down arrow for about 3 seconds. Now, once you turn it on, you technically never have to actually turn it back off again. With that motion-activated technology or shake-awake, basically when the dot does not detect any motion for about 4 minutes, it will automatically power itself off. Like, let's say you have this attached to your gun in your holster and you're sitting down. If it doesn't detect motion, it just powers itself off. Or if it's in your safe, you know, and after 4 minutes, it will power itself off. And then with any motion at all, it basically within milliseconds turns itself back on. So this is supposed to have 10 levels of brightness. 8 of them should be visible, and then there's 2 night vision modes. I have no idea what we're in right now. So what I'm going to do here is just go up a bunch of clicks. And once I see it not getting any brighter, we'll say that's level 10. So now let's go down through them. That's going to be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll run back up through them one more time here. Those buttons definitely have a real positive click to them, even though they are a little bit hard to get to. I usually only keep my red dots around like maybe 4 or 5 on the brightness at most. And honestly, once you get it set, you don't ever really have to adjust it again. So even though the buttons are kind of hard to get to, you don't really have to worry about it. I want to show you guys that that window does have just the slightest bluish gray hue to it. It's not bad, but there is that, and that's from that coating that's on it. I'm going to get this red dot mounted to something. Just so YouTube knows, putting a red dot on a pistol does not modify the pistol in any way. Alright, got it mounted, got those screws torqued down to 15 inch-pounds. This is on a 1-inch slide. As you can see, it does stick over just a little bit on each side. Again, that's because of that 28mm window. For those of you that are interested, it is 0.4 inches in height there. These are just like standard height sights on this Taurus, and I cannot co-witness anything but any type of taller sights you might be able to, because that is pretty narrow right there. Alright, let's check out the windage and elevation adjustments, see what that feels like. Definitely audible and palpable. Let's check out the elevation. Definitely. So over the next several days, I'm really going to check out that shake awake to make sure that it works fine. Basically, I'll leave the gun, lay like on a stand. I'll walk by, bend my head down, make sure that the dot is off. I'll pick it up and make sure it turns on immediately, and then set it right back down. And I'll try that numerous times throughout the day. Alright guys, out at the range this morning with that Gowutar GP-9. I'm going to get it sighted in. Probably put 50 to 100 rounds total through it. Make sure there aren't any problems with the dot flickering or shutting off. Make sure there aren't any quality control issues or anything else. So I didn't have any problems at all at the range with this GP-9, and overall I'm actually really impressed with it. It seems to be very robust and well built, using that 7075 aluminum. It's very, very strong. You can also see that glass is kind of like recessed or kind of sits back a away from that front or shroud there a little bit. That really protects that glass. The glass is very, very clear, and that dot is very crisp and gets very, very bright. I didn't have any trouble getting it sighted in, and I really like how those adjustments are both audible and palpable. I have tested that motion awake or shake awake dozens, maybe even hundreds of times over the last 3 weeks, and it has worked flawlessly every single time. This has that IPX7 waterproof rating, so it is submersible. So if you're shooting in the rain, it's fine. If you're in the snow, it's fine. If you live in humid climates, it's fine. If you drop this in the water, it's fine. Being made out of that stronger aluminum, it has that 1500 Gs of recoil rating. So again, you can put this on something that's a little more high power, such as a rifle or shotgun, and it's going to be just fine with that as well. I like that it has that top loading battery, so once you get it mounted and sighted in, you never have to remove the red dot again to change out that battery, so you won't have to re-zero it. I also like how the brightness adjustments are kind of protected here, and also how you can feel and hear those adjustments each time you press it. As far as the dot itself, I really don't have any complaints or negatives with it. However, I do wish that Gowutar would include a cover. Not everybody's going to conceal carry this, and so like if it's just sitting in my safe, let's just say a month or two, you can get dust and debris and stuff like that, and because this is an open emitter, anything that falls down in front of that basically just shuts that dot off, and so it doesn't take much lint or anything can get in there. So if I'm just storing this, I would like to have a cover on it. This is not a huge deal, but again, the box says it takes that size battery, but they obviously included a different size, so just something for them to maybe change. I'm not sure if there's going to be future versions of this released or what, but the manual shows that there's multiple dot sizes. They got a 3 MOA and a 6 MOA, that there's multiple reticles and multiple colors, and it talks about how to switch, but clearly we just have one red dot here, so I'm not sure about that. And last thing I'll mention is some of their previous red dots, they would include the Picatinny adapter with it, and this one does not. Again, not a huge deal. If you want to put it on a rifle or shotgun, you can get one of those adapters yourself, but they used to include it. So the GP-9 is similar to the Holosun 507 comp, and as you can see, it's about half the price. These are available on Amazon. There's also a discount code available at the time of me making this video that takes another 50 or so off, so it's a really phenomenal price on them. And I'll leave a link to the GP-9 down in the video description, and I'll also put that discount code down there. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.